Hello, my name is Aftab. Today, in our history lesson, we will read a book called The Romans. This is a book by Samia Gundkhalli, illustrated by Beatrice Cerocchi. The founding of Rome. Have you ever wondered where the English alphabet that we use today come from? Or how we can tell which month of the year it is? We owe these things, as well as many other parts of our everyday lives, to the Romans. The Romans were a group of people who lived over 2000 years ago. Their name comes from the place where they first lived, the city of Rome, found in the region now known as Italy. There are many legends about how this city came into being, but the most famous is the myth of Romulus and Remus. Romulus and Remus were the twin sons of the Roman god of war, Mars. Fearful that the children would overthrow him, the king ordered for the twins to be abandoned in a basket on the river Tiber. But the brothers somehow survived. After being cared for by a she-wolf, Romulus and Remus were adopted and raised by a shepherd. Many years later, Romulus and Remus returned to the place where they had been rescued as children and decided to create their own city. However, the brothers argued over exactly where to build it. Desperate for victory, Romulus killed Remus and in 753 BCE declared his own new city, which he named Rome after himself. Today, we understand myths to be imaginary stories, but the tale of Romulus and Remus was extremely special to Romans, and it formed an important part of their identity. Early Rome. Unlike the dramatic events in the myth of Romulus and Remus, it is likely that Rome was founded much more slowly and gradually. Most historians think the small tribe began to build clusters of huts surrounding the river Tiber in central Italy, which eventually formed villages. As these villages spread across the hills, the city of Rome began to take shape. We know that Romulus was its first king during the 8th century BCE. Although the Tiber often flooded, its banks were still an ideal place for the city to develop and grow. The river provided a valuable supply of fresh water which people could use as drinking water and for farming. Above all, the Tiber was important for trade as it allowed ships to carry goods to the coast and across the Mediterranean Sea, to and from places such as North Africa. Years later, a city called Ostia became Rome's main seaport. Its location at the mouth of the river was perfect for trading as well as for defense against Rome's enemies. The Romans were also lucky to have some very influential neighbors such as Greeks and Egyptians. These civilizations already had successful societies and trading systems which the Romans could cleverly take inspirations from and engage with. The Roman Republic. 7 different kings ruled over Rome following Romulus's death, but not all of them were popular. Following a rebellion in 509 BCE to overthrow the king, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, a new, more organized type of government was put into place. It was called the Roman Republic. In the Republic, certain people could vote to choose who they wanted in power, and there were more laws that citizens had to follow. The law of the 12 tables was introduced around 450 BCE and is thought to be one of the earliest sets of laws written down. It included rules on people's rights, property, and religion. 2 men called consuls were elected to hold the most power in the republic and had ultimate control of the city. They followed the advice of a group of wealthy old men called the Senate, who met regularly to debate new laws. The Republic had set out to give more of a say to its citizens, but in reality, the system was not equal. Your level of power depended on your gender and how much money you had. Common people, known as plebeians, could not elect their own leaders or act as consuls for many years. Women and enslaved people could not vote at all. Artemisia, the daughter of a well-known consul, was one of the only women to have played a role in politics when she gave a speech challenging the taxes placed on women in 42 BCE. The Roman army. The Romans had big ambitions to conquer new lands. They needed a strong army to achieve this, and modern-day historians believe Rome had one of the most forceful armies in history. The Roman army was extremely organized and well-trained, and at its largest, it is believed to have had over 450,000 people. The army was formed of units called legions, with each legion being made up of around 5,000 soldiers. A soldier could either be a legionary or an auxiliary. Legionaries were Roman citizens and formed the highest rank of recruits, while auxiliaries were non-Roman citizens and typically came from countries outside of Italy, many of which later became part of the Roman Empire. Once an auxiliary had served in the army for 20 to 25 years, they would receive an award called a military diploma and officially became a Roman citizen. The army quickly formed a large part of everyday life, and even toys the soldiers' children played with, such as wooden horses, were styled on the military world. Each piece of soldiers' equipment was specially adopted for battle. The armor was made from strong iron that was excellent at protecting the soldiers' bodies, while their sharp javelins could be thrown towards enemies from long distances. A legionary's entire armor and weaponry could have weighed up to a massive 45 kilograms or 7 stone and 1 pound. This video concludes first 4 chapters of this book. In our next video, we will read further chapters. Until then, be good, be safe, goodbye.